Welcome to the complete Klaviyo e-commerce strategy course for 2025. This is your tactical, no fluff playbook to turning email into your number one profit channel. And I'm Dan. And over the past few years, I've helped scale e-commerce brands from 30K to 300K and from 120K to 680K using Klaviyo. And we do that without spammy discounts or guesswork. Now, whether you're a Shopify founder, an in-house marketer, or an email freelancer, you'll walk away from this series knowing exactly how to do these things. So build flows and print 24/7 revenue. The 4 flows here driving 80% of that revenue. Run weekly campaigns that don't fatigue your list and master that campaign rhythm. Grow a high ROI email list, not just to grow, but also to segment it smarter for maximum return on investment. And test smarter, not harder, with A/B testing formulas and structures that we've learned here using, data and other experiments. Now, aside from that, we'll use real data to help you scale. So to be honest, this is everything I wish someone had handed to me when I first started in email marketing. Right now, I know you're probably thinking, does this actually work? So here's the truth. This exact Klaviyo strategy has helped e-commerce brands at all stages scale. For example, we've worked with startups doing 5 figures, scaling them to 6. We've helped solid 6-figure stores break into 7 figures and beyond using nothing but smarter email and SMS. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of brands here on the screen, as you can see, where we've grew one brand from 31K in email revenue to 311K over 12 months. Disclaimer, this before and after is before they started working with us, which was in 2021, to after working with us after 2022. And these are now still active clients and continuing to grow. Now, another brand grew from just their flows only from 120K to over 680K. Again, these are still with us. So this was a brand from 2021 to 2023. They're still working with us to this day, and we're continuing to scale. A recent client, which I will go into in part 2 of the series, when we dive into campaigns, actually has over 265,000 in attributed email revenue just from email campaigns alone in a single 30-day period. So whether you're starting to scale from 5K or past 500K, this playbook works, and you're about to see exactly how. Going into the first part, right? Mindset and metrics. Okay. So if you want to grow your e-commerce revenue through email, you need to shift how you think about it. Okay. So email marketing is not a newsletter. It's not just branding, and it's definitely not about spamming your list with 10% off, 20% off, 30% off discount codes every Friday. Okay. Email done right is a revenue system, and one that works 24/7, nurtures buyers, brings back abandoners of the cart, the browser, checkout, and helps you scale profitably without, and it's an important part, helps you scale without paid ads. So treat email like a system and it pays you like one. And this is the way we do this. Okay. So Klaviyo isn't just a platform, it's a growth engine. And in 2025, your setup should do 4 core things. So we have email flows and campaigns to welcome new subscribers with value and clarity. We use engagement-driven style content to convert cold traffic into first-time buyers. We retain those customers through intelligent post-purchase flows, and we win back lapsed customers through personalized re-engagement. If you build for those 4 outcomes, you build for sustainable growth. But how do you know if it's working? That's where metrics that matter come in, and let's break them down. So the 4 metrics that actually drive revenue. You have open rate. A good benchmark for this is around 35 to 45% without privacy opens. And I know a lot of Klaviyo accounts that I've seen will have inflated open rates of like 60, 70 plus because they have Apple privacy opens enabled. Now, if you disable that feature, which you can in Klaviyo, and we can dive into that later, you'll see what your actual open rates are. And they should be aiming around 35 to 45% to stay inbox relevant. Click-through rates. Aim for 2 to 5% because this tells you how compelling your copy and offer. Conversion rate, 1 to 3%. This is your ultimate signal of message to market fit. And revenue per email sent, this is the king of metrics, or the queen. If you're making 0.5 50, if you're making 50 cent per email send, you're in the top tier. You're doing really good. Now, don't just focus on vanity metrics, and this is the important part, like list size. You could have 100,000 subscribers and be losing money if you're sending the wrong messages. So, one of the biggest pitfalls is ignoring segmentation and sending the same email to everybody. And we'll get into that in a moment. But you pair segmentation with automation, which we're going to get into now. You've got a revenue generating machine that works while you sleep. And the best marketers don't just send more emails, they send smarter emails to better segmented lists and optimize every message like it's a sales asset. Ready to see what that looks like in action? We're going to break down now the revenue driving flows. So, the 4 core Klaviyo flows that drive 80% of your e-commerce revenue. If you only set up 4 things in Klaviyo this year, make it these things. So, 80% of your email revenue will come from your automated flows, not your campaigns. Flows run 24/7 and they're behavior based. So, once you set them up correctly, they generate predictable revenue without requiring your constant attention. Here are the 4 revenue driving flows every e-commerce brand must have in 2025. So first we have the welcome series. Your welcome flow, welcome series is your first impression. And in email, first impressions stick. So this flow kicks off the relationship, and it's not about pushing products. It's about positioning your brand and setting expectations. Second, we have the abandoned cart, the highest ROI flow for most e-commerce brands. It targets warm, intent visitors who got distracted or hesitant. Post-purchase flow, this is your chance to turn a customer into a repeat buyer or even a brand advocate. And yet most stores stop after sending a receipt. Now, the win back, you've already paid to acquire them. Don't waste that investment. Winbacks are triggered when a customer hasn't engaged or purchased in a set period. Usually it's 60, 90, or 120 plus days, depending on your own product life cycle. So let's dive into each of these flows, starting with the welcome flow. The welcome flow turns new subscribers into buyers in 5 days or less. The goal here is to build trust fast and guide to the first purchase. Now, the key elements, and this is very important, so feel free to make a note of this or take a screenshot of this section. But the key elements of your welcome flow should consist of a welcome and a thank you for them joining, a brand story or some kind of origin message, preview of what's coming, so value, not spam. Preview of what's coming can relate to also flows, but mainly campaigns and what emails they're going to receive, which we'll dive into in part 2 of the series. Optional, you could offer some kind of discount or prompt to action, showcase top products or reviews, and also CTA to browse the store to personalize the experience. We'll get into the structure example in a second, but before then, want to make sure that the email cadence is around 3 to 5 emails per flow for the welcome series. And then the timing would be 1 email per day over 5 days. So, what does it look like as a structure? So, you have email 1, which is the welcome and brand intro. Email 2 is product highlights and social proof. Email 3, soft offer and a clear CTA. And email 4, your mission, your values, or founder note. And email 5, which could be optional, is like education or some kind of community invite, depending on your product. Now, a pro tip here, there's a few. So first of all is use first name merge tags and dynamic blocks based on how they've opted in. That's a little bit more advanced. But if you want to start simple, always mobile optimize. Use emojis sparingly, especially in your subject lines, because they can help boost open rates. And personalize subject lines again with these first name merge tags or their interests, like what they're thinking about in that moment or what's on top of mind. So this is your welcome series. And what we'll do in the bottom of this, in this description, you'll have a link to some of our email templates. So you can actually have a look. I believe if the link's not there, please comment and we will give you the email templates. You can have a look and see what this looks like in action. Now, for the abandoned cart, recover lost sales automatically. Now, this usually, as I mentioned, is the highest ROI flow for most brands. The goal is to rescue high intent shoppers before they bounce. And now, again, screenshot it if you can. The key elements, reminder with product images. So you'll have a header and then the dynamic product block of what they've been, again, cart contents. So you can have different blocks, spaced out depending on what stage they are in the email. So you'll have one at the beginning, and you can even put one at the bottom. Some kind of urgency trigger, so limited stock and time, an incentive if needed, and trust boosters, returns policy, and reviews. Going into the number of emails, 2 to 3 emails per flow, and the timing would be first email after 1 hour, and then space it over the next 24 to 48 hours. Structure example of this is as follows. So super simple 3-part email sequence. The first one going out 1 hour after after they abandon the cart. Reminder, try without a discount. I know some brands will go straight into discounting. Usually, sometimes you don't need to in the first email. There will just be like, maybe they got busy, maybe they were tied up with something, maybe something happened unexpectedly and had to abandon the cart or go away from their phone. Literally just a reminder, hey, you may have missed this or you've left this. Do you still want it? Here it is. Click here to go buy it. Super simple. Doesn't have to contain a lot. Again, if you stick with the key elements, use at least one of these in the email, you'll be good. After, if they still haven't bought, email 2 and 3, maybe you want to introduce some urgency. Some brands will use free shipping because it doesn't hurt margins as much. Really, I would say go in with something that's still attractive, but also doesn't like see perceived value is still attractive, like free shipping, or free faster shipping as well. If you're already doing free shipping, maybe you do priority shipping, something that has high perceived value and doesn't hurt your margin too much. Don't just go straight into discounting. I think that should be like the last option, right? So after you've thought of all different kind of things you can offer an email to, if it's not working, free shipping, free priority shipping, maybe free gift wrapping, depending on the time of the year, for the holidays, for stuff like that, or other things that people want. Like maybe there's something they can get free, like a free gift. Again, that doesn't cost you guys much on your margins. Offer that in this email before you do a discount. Then email 3 usually is a FOMO close based on whatever it is that you offered on email 2. So if it was the free priority shipping, that's coming to an end. If it's a free gift, like free small gift with purchase, that's coming to an end. And usually this will be a high converter for you guys. And again, you test things once at a time. Now we'll get into A/B testing down the road, so don't worry about too much of the A/B testing side. But just from a structure point of view, this is not going to do you any wrong. This is going to be very, very good, very, very solid, and you're going to get a lot of consistent revenue coming in from this flow. Pro tips. So some brands we work with, especially those that have like high ticket products versus low ticket products, will split the cart based on those values. So if someone abandons something a little bit more expensive and there's more room to maybe offer a more higher discount or even a smaller discount, but still the value, the dollar amount on the high ticket item is quite high based on that 5% off, for example, then we will split out the emails and the messaging so that it talks more directly to those that are doing a bigger purchase. Usually those with bigger purchases need more information around guarantees, return policies, social proof as well. Okay. So it's important if you want to go down the pro side, which I recommend you guys do, is you want to segment by cart value to tailor incentives. Common mistake that I've seen brands make on the abandonment is that they're only sending one email. If you're doing that, you're leaving serious money on the table. Moving on to our post-purchase. So, post-purchase flow, turn buyers into loyal fans. This is your chance to turn a customer, as mentioned previously, into a repeat buyer or a brand advocate. Yet, most stores, as I've seen, do just send one email or just the receipt, right? So, we don't want to be doing that. We want to be a little bit more intentional with the post-purchase for sure. That's definitely one word to use. You want to be very intentional with each email you're sending out, okay, based on how your customer will be feeling. The goal here is to reduce that buyer's remorse that we all have after we purchase. You may think we don't. Maybe on smaller ticket products, not so much, but we all have a little bit of buyer's remorse afterwards. So we are using the emails here to nurture that relationship, show them that, hey, you're not just a number, you're not just a customer, you are part of our brand ecosystem now. And we're here to continue supporting you and helping you on your journey while you're with our product. Reduce remorse, increase retention, and from a brand perspective, repeat sales. We want more sales. Key elements here. So we have the thank you message and order confirmation. Usually I recommend using this as a plain text email with a human tone coming from someone reputable in the company. Could be the CEO, could be head of the warehouse, delivery, someone that the customer can relate to. And this can also be a good way to tie in a thank you with why we made the product and why it's going to help you. Okay. So say thank you for supporting us. Now it's our turn to support you because we understand what you're going through. Okay. And each product solves some kind of problem or pain point. So it's identifying that, or it may, yeah, that's it. It solves some kind of pain point, or it fulfills some kind of want, right? And we're going to talk to that in this email. Second point is obviously order status and shipping updates, product care or how-to content. This is a product education usage tips, UGC or review requests, upsell or bundle offers, and then a referral program or loyalty rewards. Number of emails, recommend 4 to 6, and spread this over 2 to 3 weeks of the post-purchase period. Again, goal is to reduce remorse here. We want to be with them every step of the way up until the point it's delivered and even after. Structure example. So we have email 1, thanks and what to expect, get them excited for what they just bought. Email 2, product education and FAQ. Relieve any maybe worries or concerns they have afterwards and answer any common questions. Email 3, review prompt and community. So this will go out after it gets delivered, right? You don't want to send a review before they get it. So after it gets delivered, you ask them for a review, but afterwards you invite them to join you on the community. It could be, I know some brands we work with use Discord. I don't know, maybe you guys are trying that, or could be an app you guys have, or Facebook group, Instagram, anything that encourages customers to interact with one another. That's where we want to take them. Email 4, cross-sell offer and a loyalty nudge. So again, comes after the delivery, maybe even a few days after they've got to experience the product, what they have at home, and then you can tell them something similar based on what they've bought. And again, it's coming as a suggestion, a recommendation, like, hey, we noticed you got this. Have you looked at this? Can also help with X, Y, Z related to what you've already got. And then a loyalty nudge, depending on if you have a loyalty program. I know a lot of brands are bringing loyalty programs in now. They're really good for retention. Highly recommended if you haven't already done it. If you aren't doing it, look into it. If you are doing it, this is where you want to nudge them to either join the loyalty program or look at their loyalty dashboard if they're already signed up. Okay, pro tips. Add delivered logic before sending upsell messages. Already covered that. Use product specific logic in flows. So you would conditionally split based on what they've bought. A lot of brands I see will just do one post purchase flow, right, for their main product, which is fine. It's good. And but the messaging will kind of be more general, covered, but the brand may sell 5, 6 products. Okay. And you're only answering general questions. Whereas if you can get more product specific with your messaging, the customer feels that you're talking directly to them. And I suggest, really, with most brands, if they want to get more advanced with this, to be splitting their flows and their splits into different segments based on what they bought. Okay, it's a bit more advanced and stuff. I'll definitely do a video purely based just on that flow. And you can see that more advanced post-purchase flow. But for now, this is a simple structure you can follow to get up and running. Okay, let's move on to the win-back flow. So the goal of a win-back flow is to reactivate lapsed customers. So people who have already bought from us with strategic timing. And as mentioned before, they usually trigger at 60 to 90 days of inactivity based on your cycle. And the key elements here, so go ahead and screenshot this. Subject lines that reconnect. Very important. It's, for example, it's been a while. We miss you. Hey, you still interested? Things like this, like also asking questions in a subject line, like, where are you? I've seen where are you work really well. And it'd be like, what do you mean, where am I? And they open it and then they see. So it's curiosity driven, but also reconnection. Subject lines, remind them what they bought. Super important. I notice brands don't do this a lot. But yeah, hey, we know you bought this sofa from us, or hey, we know you bought this amazing t-shirt from us, or hey, you bought this mug. You get the gist. Which you can actually do dynamically in Shopify. Again, not going to cover it in this video. That's more advanced stuff, but you should be calling out what they bought and exploring into that with the Klaviyo dynamic tags. So also showing new arrivals or trending products underneath that messaging. So like, hey, you may have missed this. We've got new things. Like, oh, this is trending in the month of X, right? and then some kind of optional incentive for them to return, reviews or trust boosters, and then a CTA for them to revisit your store. Structure example is this. So we have the, before I go into that, 3 to 4 emails on this one. Okay, so structure example. We miss you tone. Email 2, show new or improved offers. And then email 3, deadline incentive, or just ask them to opt out if they're no longer interested. Again, common mistake I see. One brand says, one email, we miss you. You don't reply to this email. Okay, no worries. Goodbye. No. Do not just give up that easily. These are people who bought from you in the past, likely had a good experience. And if you follow our, and you'll see this in part 2 of the video, if you follow our campaign strategy, there's no reason for them to unsubscribe from you. You're not spamming them with discounts. You're not annoying your email list. You're giving them value all the time. There's no reason for them to unsubscribe. So if at this point they've just got tied up, maybe they just haven't been checking their emails that much, for whatever reason, they haven't been opening or clicking emails. We want to try everything we can to get them to click back and, return back to our email engagement. Other pro tips. So tag reactivations to measure ROI and personalize future flows. Use plain text emails to increase deliverability. Add a poll or a survey like, why haven't you come back, to learn. Could also offer an incentive on that. And again, set custom properties, reactivations here, like win back underscore reactivated. You can add a tag, if they've opened or clicked an email, for deeper segmentation later. So we want to segment everyone that's received those emails and re-engaged to know later down the road, okay, they're the people that we almost lost, but they've come back sometime, and we'll tailor campaigns differently for those win back segments. That's it for the flow structure and the 4 flows you should be having. Literally, if you're going to create any flows this year, or you just want to make money from email marketing and have consistent revenue coming in, these are the 4 flows that you should have. Some optimization tactics across all flows. So again, I just want to mention the mobile optimization is mandatory. A/B test monthly, clean up flows quarterly, don't discount by default, and use metrics to refine. So I understand that these points may be more advanced. So what I'm going to do, if you comment below, hey, how do I optimize my flows? Because at this point, you may not even have your flows live. If you do already have your flows live, if you're a Shopify business owner who's hired an agency, email marketing agency, and maybe for a while you've been a bit out of touch with what they've been doing, this is comment below saying optimization, and I'll send over the 6 different tactics that we use here to optimize our flows. You can see it, consider it as a bit of an SOP, really, going forward. But just to briefly tell you what it is, it's use first party data, mobile optimization is mandatory, A/B test monthly, clean up flows quarterly, so important. Clean them up, audit them, make sure they look good. Don't discount by default. I've already mentioned this, I'll mention it again. And use metrics to refine. So the metrics that we've gone through here, go back to it. These metrics to refine and check flow performance. If any of these metrics aren't looking good, if you're below any of these in any of your flow emails, need to go back to the drawing board a little bit and see why, what's going on. And again, comment optimization below, and I can share these tactics with you. So by now, you should be thinking about email differently, not as a newsletter, not as a random send, but as a 24/7 revenue system driven by automation. We touched a bit on segmentation, but mainly the strategy behind it. And we've just covered the foundation, the 4 flows that can quietly drive up to 80% of your email revenue when set up right. Okay, so these flows, which we talked about, the welcome series, the abandoned cart, the post-purchase, and win back, aren't optional. They're essential, and they will do the heavy lifting for your brand every single day. But flows are only half the equation, as we know. And in the next part of this course, I'll show you how to build a weekly campaign rhythm that prints consistent revenue without spamming your lists or burning out your subscribers. Okay, so let's keep scaling. See you in the next video.